Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity, where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. Okay, so I guess if anybody wound up at the stadium early last night, I apologize. I apologize even if you didn't. Apparently, my computer was set to Pacific time, not Central. And so I had the time wrong. I think I had noticed that before, and I had forgotten to update it. That was really wild. I tried to watch the game at 5 o'clock. I think I tried to watch the game earlier. Another time I noticed that, and it wasn't on. Surprise, surprise, shocker. I think everything is now back. I still have some technical corrections to make on this computer. Man, I tell you what, they wipe your computer and then you've got to rebuild it, and oof. Yeah, fun stuff. So the next game is Saturday. I'm doing the podcast on Friday, so some of the numbers won't be quite right. Vegas does have a game tonight. They are playing Chicago. I expect them to beat Chicago. That shouldn't be much of a contest. But they are in a back-to-back situation. They are playing tonight, so my numbers won't be exactly right for Vegas. But it should be close enough for the things that we need to talk about. But anyway, that game is at 5:30, and I'm 51.6% confident that number's right. But check your tickets. Yeah, we had one game where I never noticed this game that I actually had tickets to, and they were talking. The announcers on the way in, I was listening to the pregame. They were talking about how the game had been moved back to its regular time. It had been, I guess, for a while supposed to start at like 9 o'clock Central Time, and they had moved it back to 7. I had never. When I set up the schedule in my calendar at the beginning of the year, it was set up for 7. I don't know when they changed it to 9. I hadn't heard anything about that, but I guess they changed it back to 7, so it didn't matter. Anyway, so welcome to Predators Proclivity. With the Preds played. Preds should have won last night. They didn't. They played really well. They won the first period, which is what they need to do at home. They got a power play goal in the first period, which is good. I think a little rarer at no. The first and third they're good at home. It's the second period where they're outstanding on the road. But again, Vegas is coming to Nashville, so we'll talk about the home statistics. So, yeah, they got 2 goals in the first, and then let the game slip away. Just let it slip away. So on Wednesday, Mark Delgaizo and Kiefer Bellows were placed on waivers. Both did play in the game last night. They do not appear on the Predators roster today. So I'm assuming they are back assigned to Milwaukee, but I'm not exactly sure. I was befuddled about this whole way. I was watching the waiver the transactions announcements yesterday, and I was thinking for sure we were going to lose Del Gaizo, but I guess we didn't. So anyway, they appear to be with the Admirals now. Both of those are unrestricted free agents at the end of the year. Kiefer Bellows is a regular unrestricted free agent. Mark DeGaizo is a Group 6. And I have the explanation here, and I think I basically players must be 25 years or older when their existing contract ends. It's calculated on June 30th of the expiring contract year. To be Group 6 eligible, a player must have played less than 80 career NHL games. For goalies, this is 28 games with more than 30 minutes of ice time and 3+ professional seasons. And there's a whole stuff about that. But anyway, so basically, I'm guessing it's mainly for players who are under 25. But anyway, so unrestricted free agent, both of those at the end of the year looks like we have retained them, and I am guessing that they are in Milwaukee, are going to be playing for Milwaukee for at least a day. Anyway, the Vegas Golden Knights, Marshall's old team, is coming to Nashville. Smashville, hopefully Smashville. This is the second game of the year. We are playing 3 versus Vegas, so we still have 1 more. This is the second game in Nashville, so it will be the last game in Nashville, and then we will play in Vegas. When do we play in Vegas? We play in Vegas April 12th. It is it's the last away game, and there are only 2 more games after that. So, so we are playing Vegas for the second time this year. We did win. We did beat Vegas 3-5 or 5-3 here in Nashville the first time. So that's good. For Vegas, losing the game with Nashville was the start of a 4-game losing streak, and it's. I don't think it was the start of a 5-game. We had a 5-game. Oh, yeah, it was the start of a 5-game winning streak. I had my notes right. So, back January 14th, we beat Vegas, went on a 5-game winning streak, and then promptly lost 6, adroitly ending any potential playoff run. But the losing to us did did precede, was the beginning of a 4-game losing streak for them. Oh, and they got to play St. Louis twice. They lost to St. Louis for the last game of that, and then they beat St. Louis. St. Louis is everywhere. St. Louis, then they have to play them back-to-back. Back-to-back, once in Vegas and then travel to St. Louis. At least they weren't consecutive games. Man, I don't know about the schedule this year. This whole back-to-back thing for the Preds has really got me flux-summoned. I really think that it's a horrible schedule for the Preds, and I think that they have not responded well to having so many back-to-back travel, back-to-back, and both games are away type of situations. Obviously, they have not been a very good road team, but by the end of the season, they'll have played 41 road games, and 22 of them will have been in back-to-back situations, and that's just ridiculous, in my opinion. But anyway, that's how did I talk about Vegas? Well, Vegas is in a back-to-back situation tonight.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So Vegas was on the losing to Nashville started a 4-game losing streak for them. Last year, Nashville was 2-1 against Vegas. We played 2 in Vegas, lost the first one, won the second, and then won in overtime here in Nashville. All right. Well, they are 43-20-8 on the road. They are 16-13-5. Not the best road team compared to how good they are at home. Apparently, 27-7-3 at home. 16-13-5 on the road. They are first in the Pacific. They are first in the Pacific with 94 points, 5 points ahead of Las Vegas, of the LA Kings, who lost last night apparently, because yesterday they were 1 game behind. Now they're even in games played. Both teams have 11 games left. Vegas has a 5-point lead. So that's, that's good 2-point swings if they have to play each other. That could really help the Kings catch up. It does not look like they must be done. That's weird. Vegas isn't playing the Kings. They're done playing the Kings. Let's see, they play Chicago tonight, Friday night, Nashville on Saturday, and then they go home to play Edmonton and Winnipeg. Then they travel Calgary, Vancouver, Colorado, Seattle, Nashville, Calgary, Vancouver. So they don't have the hardest schedule. Calgary's going to be tough. Vancouver will be tough. Those will be, but I guess it's in Edmonton, Winnipeg. Oh gosh, Winnipeg. Yeah, so it's they'll be playing a lot of teams that are in the playoffs. So it there's potential I think for the Kings to overtake Vegas, and let's see. The Kings play Toronto. They've got a back-to-back this weekend at home. Toronto, San Jose. Then they play Winnipeg, Utah, Edmonton, Seattle. Anaheim, Colorado, Edmonton, Seattle, and finishing Calgary. So, yeah, they're not... They're finishing the season with Seattle and Calgary. Seattle and Calgary. Who made up this schedule? Anyway, so yeah, Vegas has a pretty decent grip on the first in the Pacific. They are 8 points behind Winnipeg. Winnipeg has played one more game, so it's not exactly out of reach. Vegas has 11 games left, 8 points to make up. And they're the... Let's see. Are they the closest? Dallas is at 98 points, so 4 points behind. Same number of games played. It doesn't look like Vegas is going to overtake for the Western Conference, the first place in the Western Conference. Dallas still could, I suppose, depending on how Winnipeg does the rest of the season. But yeah, so as far as Vegas and what their aspirations are, they are going to be trying to hold on to the first in the Pacific. Doesn't look like trying to be first in the Western is much of a goal at this point. So, but they still have to. They don't have the best grip on that. Just 5 points ahead of the Kings, and they don't face the Kings. So that's a little unfortunate, but. Yeah, the Kings are 2 points ahead of Edmonton. Both teams will be playing Edmonton a couple times here in the stretch. So I guess that's good. The top 3 in the Pacific will be meeting each other a little bit. Edmonton will get to meet the other 2 teams. I guess good for Edmonton. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Edmonton fall out of the playoffs, but not likely. Not likely. I'm not a Connor McDavid fan. I don't necessarily dislike Edmonton. I'm not the biggest fan of how Edmonton has, or how the league has pushed for, Connor McDavid. I mean, he's a good player and all that stuff. Not saying he's not, But last year, it felt like the NHL did everything they could to try to get him, everything they could except blatantly throw the Stanley Cup to get him a Stanley Cup. And fortunately, Florida was able to hold on and win. But yeah, so anyway, so Vegas is doing pretty good. They need to keep their lead on the Kings and Edmonton so they can stay in the first position. That would have them playing the first wild card team, which right now looks like it's either going to be Minnesota or St. Louis. I think Calgary still has a pretty good shot at the second wild card position. But yeah, I think the first wild card positions kind of look like Minnesota or St. Louis. So that's who Vegas would be playing. Would be Minnesota right now, but that's who they would be playing if they kept it up. The second and third in the Pacific will play each other. Just who gets home ice more. Last year it was Edmonton and L.A., and this year it looks like it'll be L.A. and Edmonton, hopefully. L.A. has trouble with Edmonton in the playoffs. They just do. Last year I think there was a thumb on the scale, and we've seen that before. The first year Vegas was in the league, there was a huge thumb on the scale in the Vegas-Los Angeles series with kicking Drew Doughty out for the last game. Just disgusting. But anyway, this is not that year. So I really wanted to like Vegas, but given the way that the NHL kind of really threw so much weight behind making sure Vegas got into the playoffs and got to a deep playoff run, I not much of a fan. Great stadium, and a fun experience. Outside the stadium, you can hang out outside the stadium, watch the game. It is really fun. They've done a great job there in Vegas, and I'd feel better if that first season was a little more honest. If they had actually won the Stanley Cup, boy, I would have been really pissed. But they didn't. They did come back and win it later, so good for them. So they've got a decent chance this year. They are playing well. For Vegas, the game here in Nashville will be the last of a 3-game road trip. They are currently 1-0. They did beat Minnesota 5-1. As I said, they are playing Chicago tonight. And they should have no trouble against Chicago. However, I say that, but they have lost to Chicago this year in a back-to-back situation. Now, in that case, that they were, it was in January. They lost to Chicago. Chicago was the second part. They played Carolina, so they were at Carolina and lost 3-2, and then had to go to Chicago, and they lost 5-3. So they have lost to Chicago this year. It doesn't really look like Chicago is currently in the mood to beat anybody. I'll take a quick look here at their schedule. They actually won a game recently, the Flyers. Oh, yeah, well, then Tortorella, I guess, paid the price. You lose to Chicago, and your coach gets fired. Now, St. Louis did get rid of their coach earlier in the season, so but I think it's too late for Philadelphia. Tortelli or whatever his name is. Maybe that's the pasta and not the coach. But cover that. The Philadelphia does not come. Meets Nashville. Nashville will travel to Philadelphia on Monday, and so I've been doing a little bit of research on Tortello or whatever his name is. Anyway, so yeah, they lost to Chicago and then they fired him. So I don't think that's actually right. They lost to Chicago on Sunday. They fired Tortella on Thursday. So or on Wednesday, I guess.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
But yeah, the Chicago has racked up a lot of losses here to a very distinguished list of teams, including the Preds overtime. I guess that was a screw up. They got a point. Well, I'm getting a point in that one by going to overtime with Nashville. Yeah, so it doesn't look like Chicago is in the mind to try to beat anybody. But who knows? That's why you got to play the game. Now, Vegas was involved in one trade at the trade deadline. I don't really think that that was the guy they got didn't really have that many stats, so I don't really think it was terribly meaningful. They had a trade with the Rangers. The Rangers were trading everybody apparently, except Jonathan Quick and Shesterkin. So they acquired a forward Riley Smith from the Rangers for a forward Brendan Brisson and a third-round 2025. So it looks like maybe it was something that the Rangers were doing to try to bulk up their team, which where are they at this point in time? I think they're still out of a wild card, but at least they're being competitive. They had dropped like a rock. They had a really bad stretch. But anyway, that was the only trade that Vegas was involved in. It doesn't since March 7th. I don't know. They were winning before March 7th. And so I think Vegas has just continued to play well. I mean, they played well all year. They've had a couple of stretches. Looks like they had a couple of 4 loss. Well, the one that started with Nashville, and then they won one, lost one, won one, and then went on a 4-game losing streak again, 2 overtime losses in that. So they've seemed to have recovered from kind of a January, early February misstep and back to playing well. They are missing a couple of key players. Number 48 center Tomas Hertl is out. He's not expected to be back until April 1st. He is their goal-scoring leader. And defenseman number 7, Alex Pietrangelo, he is out. Could be back today for the Chicago game. He is first in time on ice with 22-28. Back at March 25th, they were able to activate defenseman number 27, Shea Theodore, from long-term injured reserve. And I had to, you know me, I like my AHL teams. And they also, on the March 25th, activated from injured reserve number 36 center Raphael Lavoie and reassigned him to the Henderson Silver Knights. Silver Knights. I think their ECHL team is a Silver Knights too. Not bronze, gold, silver, bronze. Looking for that platinum door. Anyway, Fraser reference. Sorry. So that is the Vegas Golden Knights. For the Nashville Predators, live. They are 27-37-8, 18-15-3 at home, which is a winning record, people. Boy, I really, really wanted them to win last night. But it's interesting. Last year the Preds swept St. Louis, and this year St. Louis swept the Preds. So it's interesting how there's so much symmetry in different games. I think looking at jumping slightly ahead, you talk about the symmetry. Philadelphia, the earlier game this year with Philadelphia was overtime, and the first game against Philadelphia last year went to overtime. So just interesting how the symmetry between the teams from year to year can be even, despite how everything else might be going for the different teams. Kind of interesting. How that works. Preds are 7th in the Central with 62. That's not going to change. They're 11 ahead of Chicago, even on games played. 13 behind Utah, even with games played. Buffalo did win, so they are now 4 points ahead of Buffalo, or behind Buffalo. Buffalo has played 71 games. The Preds have played 72. So, Buffalo has played one less and are 4 points ahead. And kind of our bottom of the NHL watch. The league. Thank you. Click the right button. There we go. Yeah, so we got, San Jose, Chicago, and Nashville have been eliminated. Buffalo is at 66 points. 76 is the wild card spot. They've got 11 games left. So it could be 75. So they're just 9 points out of a playoff spot with 11 games to go. So they're not going to get eliminated anytime soon. More likely, teams will be clinching playoff spots before the next elimination. But that's your bottom of the league report. San Jose is now 2 points behind Chicago. I guess San Jose must have managed to win, Chicago's played one more than San Jose, so the bottom team will be either San Jose or Chicago. I guess that could still be in doubt. And then Nashville looks pretty solid where they're at. I suppose Buffalo could drop below them. Philadelphia, that's next week. They're 5 points ahead. That's a sad thing to be reporting on, but that's where we're at. Tomorrow night's game, the game against Vegas, will be the second of a 2-game homestand, lost to St. Louis on Thursday night, and then they have 2 on the road. So after the game with Vegas, 3 on the road, Monday and Tuesday, Philadelphia and Columbus, and then Thursday at Dallas. So, at least there's a little bit of a gap there. But 3 on the road after the Vegas game. Personnel changes. Del Gaizo and Bellows were on waivers, cleared waivers. Yossi is still out, unlikely to come back, maybe for the Dallas game, the April 16th Dallas game, but we'll see. All right.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So let's get to some home stats. The Nashville Predators here in Nashville are 18-15-3, which is a winning record. So they are, start with the first goal. When they get the first goal in the first period, which they did last night, they're 10-5-3 if they get the first goal in the first period. Overall, they're 10-6-3 if they get the first goal in the game, because they've gotten the first goal once in the second period. They lost that game. So getting the first goal, the Preds are 10-6-3. If they do not, they're 8-9. So that's not really that much of an advantage. 5-7 if it happens in the first period. 3-2 if it happens in the second. Winning by period, the Preds won the first period last night. Did not win the game. But they are now 17-8-11 in the first period, which is close to having more wins than anything else. So they've got 17 wins and 19 losses or ties. But same numbers, but in a different order. For the second period, 11 wins, 17 losses, and 8 ties in the second period. And then let's just throw some different numbers in there for the third: 14, 16, and 6 in the third period. So kind of a toss-up in the third period. Overtime, 3-3-1. And then 1-0 in shootouts. But as I say, the things that really matter are how do you take that first period win and convert it. And 17 wins in the first period, and 11 of those have resulted in wins in the game. So they're 11-6 when they win the first period. Last night, of course, they won the first period and lost the game, so that put another tick in the loss column on that one. 2-6 if they lose the first period, and if they tie the first period, they're 5-6. And pretty much all of the stats say if they tie the period, it's a coin flip. 8 times the second period, 6 times the third, and so those were split 50-50. The Preds did lose the second and third period last night. No empty net goals to dissuade that one. Also adds to the talk about the goal scoring. We'll get to that in a minute. But that 2 in the first, and then 1 in the second, 1 against in the second, 2 against in the third. So in the second period, of 11 times they've won the second period, they're 10-1, so that's good, and 13-1 when they win the third period. Losing the second and third period are hugely towards losing the second period 4-13. So if they lose the second period, they've won 4 of the games, and if they win the lose the third period, they've won 2 of those. If they remember the numbers from yesterday, they don't even when they're winning. They have a tendency not to outscore their opponents in the second and third period in any particular scenario. But we'll get to goal scoring in a second. But anyway, so yeah, that's how that correlates. And then again, like we did last night, they won the first, lost the second. That's now happened 8 times. They're 3-3-2 in those 8 scenarios. So if they win the first, win the second, that's happened 5 times. They win the game, lose the first, win the second, 2-1. Tie the first, win the second, they're 3-0. So winning the second is actually looking really, really much of a determinant here in home anyway. And if they lose the second, if they've won like I said, if they've won the first period, 3 times they were able, 3 out of 8, they were able to win the game. But if they lost the first, they're 0-3, and then if they tied the first and then lose the second, they're 1-5. Tying the second period, not too bad. If they win the first, they're 3-0-1. If they lost the first, tie the second, that's a 0-2, and then if they tie the first, tie the second, that's a coin flip, 1-1. So anyway, that's winning by period and how those things correlate. Winning goal, that should be kind of interesting today because the winning goal last night was scored in the third period since the Preds got 2 goals in the first and St. Louis got 1 in the second. The winning goal was the third goal, and so that kind of should tick that up, and it did. The winning goal now 31% of the time in the third period, 28% in the second. That one goal, that one game being the difference, it's 11-10, 8 in the first period. So the winning goal here in Nashville is pretty evenly distributed between the first, second, and third. 6 times in overtime, once in a shootout. When the Preds win, it is, again, still fairly evenly distributed, 4-4-6 in the first, second, and third. So 33% of the time, the Preds get the winning goal in the third period with 22 in the first and second. The opponent's getting the winning goal 33% of the time, but with last night it coming up to the third period, that's now getting pretty even too. So 5 times in the third period for 28%. And then 4 times in the first for 22. So that really kind of looking fairly even. Last night, the road team did win. So in the looking at the games where the percentages of what period the home team wins versus the road team wins, 27 times this season in Predators games, the road team has won, and 33% of those were the winning goal was scored in the third period. The second period still leads with 11 times, so 41% in the second period. Only 4 times in the first period. I did, if you looking at comparing it to last year. Now, granted, this is not a road game tomorrow night, but the interesting stat from last season on when the winning goal was scored, when the Preds were on the road, 0 times did the opponents get their winning goal in the first period. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, last year things were a little bit more evenly distributed. The opponent, the road team would get the winning goal 43% of the time in the third, and the home team 50% of the time in the second. So that was a little more deterministic than how things have been this season. So things are definitely different between last season and this season with regards to when the winning goal is being scored, being scored. And speaking of scoring,
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So the Preds getting 2 goals in the first period last night continued to or increased their the number of goals that they are leading the opponents. They're outscoring their opponents. Thank you. Finally came up with a turn. 36-28 in the first period. And now even when the Preds lose now, it's tied 16-16. So when the Preds lose here at home, they are even. They are not being outscored in the first period. So that's pretty remarkable. Now in the second period, they're being outscored 31-40, and they did lose to St. Louis. So St. Louis got 1, so that increased that, and then the third period, 35-39, removing the empty net goals becomes 23-30. The Preds have more empty net goals in the third period. Well, when else would you get them? Then the opponent's 12-9, so that exacerbates the being outscored in the third period. Now, interesting, in the third period, the winning team has scored 29 goals, and then the Preds have scored 10. The Preds have scored 6 when they lose, and the opponents have scored 10. So that looks, when numbers kind of line up like that, it makes me pay attention. But still sticking. Last night's game was a little different, 3-2. In general, it's been the winning team has gotten 4 goals, so on the average this season, 4.2, regardless of whether the Preds win or lose. The winning team gets 4.2. The Preds slightly lower when they lose than the opponents when they lose, 1.9 to 1.7. And then overall goals scored here in Nashville is pretty close, 3 goals for both the opponents and the and for Nashville. Thank you. A total of 106 to 110. And taking out the empty net goals, which does make it a little bit different, 2.6 goals for the Preds to 2.8 goals for the opponents here in Nashville. That's the goal scoring. And as I mentioned in the different scenarios, if the Preds are winning coming into the second period, they're being outscored 11-8. If they're tied coming into the second period, they're outscored 13-6. And if they're losing, they're outscoring their opponents 7-6. So that's one scenario where they're actually outscoring their opponents. Last night, the Preds were winning coming into the second period, and the other team did score. The third period, Preds winning, they're outscoring their opponents 18-12, which is not what happened the other night. Taking out the 8 empty net goals that the Preds have gotten in the third period, they're being outscored 12-10. So I think it was 18-10. I think it was even before for the St. Louis game. And now with the empty nets coming out, the opponents are outscoring the Preds 12-10. When tied in the second period, when tied coming into the second period, the Preds are being outscored 13-16. And when they're tied entering the third period, they're being outscored 5-8. Preds losing coming into the second period, they are outscoring the other team 7-6. And in the third period, it's 12-19. They are being outscored 12-19. Removing the empty net goals, there's 1 for the Preds and 6 for the opponents, and so that's 13-11. So it really narrows the gap, but they're still being outscored. I came up with this idea again, trying to find something to that might be interesting, and it is kind of interesting the fact that the Preds are just flat out being outscored, but that's not a real surprise. The biggest problem is not scoring. The special teams play, the Preds did get a power play goal. They did get a power play goal against St. Louis, and so they, let's see, what did one, St. Louis had 3. They lost, that's not right. The 72nd game. Yeah, that's not right. That's the wrong game. Oh, yes, that's the wrong game. Looking at the previous game, they did lose the special teams battle in the game in St. Louis, but last night the Preds won the special teams battle. They got a goal on the power play and didn't give up. Some of the things I do track, they did get shortly after the major penalty was over, St. Louis did score a goal, getting a just after on the major, even strength, which is not really something that has to be that interesting to track, but for some reason I'm doing it anyway. But have not spent any time analyzing that. The Preds getting the power play goal in the first period against St. Louis, they are now up to 30% and here in Nashville, 10 goals on 33 opportunities in the first period. So they're doing really well. Their power play, and get to the special teams later. They're not anemic, but they're in the bottom half of the league in power plays at overall at 21%, but a whopping 30%, which Vegas is first in the league overall with a power play percentage of 30.1%, and the Preds are 30% in the first period. So in the first period, the Preds have to be one of the better teams. I don't have all that data, but they have to be one of the better teams. Their opponents are only getting 10%. As I mentioned, the Preds until a couple of weeks ago had not given up a power play goal in the first period, and now they've given up 5. 3 here in Nashville and 2 on the road, but for a while it was 0, which it was 0 until I started talking about it. And so, the opponents aren't scoring here, and the Preds on the road don't do so well in the first period. So I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to know if the home teams in the first period had score, power plays are really good, but I don't have that data to look at. As far as I know, I guess I can hunt around a little bit more for it, but it hasn't been that obvious. They don't really seem. I could try the NHL site again, but I hadn't really seen anything to that level of detail, which is probably good, because if I was getting that level of detail, who knows how much time I would waste poring over that data. Yesterday I decided to dump all of the data on the league and days between games in order to do some analysis and figure out if there were teams that were biased because they played too many games, 1 game apart, 2 games apart, 0 games apart, how that would all shake out. And I spent way too much time on that yesterday and started looking at it again today, and I guarantee I'm going to look at it some more. But that's the problem with getting the data. That's just you can look at all these different permutations and combinations, and it just kind of gets really kind of fascinating to see how that plays out, right? I think so anyway. But maybe I will get this stuff into a database, and so I can manipulate the data and come up with reports a little bit better than just everything being in Excel. But that's Yeah, So 30%, the Preds are 30% in the first period. The opponents are 10%. In the second period, they're fairly even, 19% for the Preds and 17% for the opponents, and 24% in the third to 21%. That's here in Nashville. The number of penalties or power play opportunities, the Preds have ticked up a little bit higher than the opponents, 33 to 29 in the first. The second is decently close, 42 to 47. 42 for the Preds, 47 for the opponents. Both teams have scored 8 power play goals in the second period. In the third period, both Nashville and the opponents have scored 6 goals in the third period, and fairly even, 25 to 29, 25 for the Preds and 29 for the opponents. It's just that first period, 10 goals for the Preds and only 3 for the opponents in the first period. So special teams in the first period for the Preds looking pretty good. Take a quick glance through here and see if I see any other numbers that kind of jump out at me. I don't think so. The 5-on-4 opportunities, the Preds have not had any 4-on-3 goals. The opponents have had 2. 4-on-4, the Preds are up 3-1 here in Nashville, so that it's not terribly significant. 28 opportunities, only 3 goals. It's only given up 1. So 4-on-4, not really a goal scoring situation. I guess now that I've said that, we'll see some 4-on-4 goals. And that's 12. That's a good number. It looks like when you pull your goaltender about 50% of the time here in Nashville that the team scores. So the Preds have 12 goals on 24 pulled goaltenders, and the opponents have 8 on 15. So once they pull the goaltender, half the time somebody's going to score. Not real surprising, I guess, but the Preds leading in that, but then they've had the goaltender pulled more than they have, but they have a winning record, so I guess that explains that.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com.
got it.
Step 2, collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3, play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4, unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, looking at the matchups. So let's take a quick look at goal scoring. Vegas is 6th in the league in scoring. Nashville is last, 32nd. Vegas has scored 241 goals to having 188 scored against them. The Preds and goals against, the Preds are 9th in the league in being scored on, and Vegas is 28th, so no shocker they're in playoff position. Vegas, when they're scoring goals, fairly even in the first and second, 72-71, and jumps up to a whopping 96 in the third period. They're 3rd in the league in scoring in the third period. They're 5th in the league in scoring in the first with 72. But that 24-goal difference really jumps out at you. But, I guess, that, as I've said, the goal scoring goes up from the first to the second and the second to the third. So the 71 for the second, in the second for the Vegas drops them to 18th in the league. So even though it's only one goal less, they drop 13 spots. And so they do pretty well. When they give up goals, is fairly even. 56 in the first, 66 in the second, and 61 in the third. All in the bottom of the league. In the third period, they are 30th in the league in goal scoring against and scoring against. So they're stingy. The Preds, not so much in the third. Not so stingy. They are giving up more goals in the second, 83 to 80 in the third, 61 in the first. So the Preds are pretty good at holding their own in the first period, not being scored against. As I said, the Predators are last in the league in scoring. They're last in the third period. They're 28th in the first and 26th in the second, 55, 63, and 62. So they're just not a goal-scoring team. 183 goals for, 229 against. And, when I was looking at it yesterday, Vegas had moved from 16th in the league in scoring to 11th. Don't think that's... 23rd and the third to 16th. That's not right. That was our stats for St. Louis, not Vegas. And I just didn't edit those out. So good for St. Louis. Penalty situations. I've kind of alluded to this already. Vegas has the top power play, 30.1%, 50 goals on 166 opportunities. They are 24th in the league on the penalty kill, 75.9, giving up 35 goals on 145 opportunities. That 145 opportunities on the penalty kill, if you want to call them opportunities, is the least in the NHL. And then their 166 power play opportunities is second lowest in the NHL. So again, another team that is, as far as penalties being taken in their games, it's one of the lowest. The penalty kill opportunities for Nashville is sixth most. The Preds are ninth in the league in penalty kill, 81.3%, 40 goals against on 214 opportunities. So the Preds have had 5 more goals scored against on 69 more opportunities. So that you have to like that. The Preds are right in the middle of the league on the power play, 21.3%, which is mentioned that 19th in the league, 43 goals for on 202 opportunities. So Vegas has scored 7 more goals on the power play in 36 less opportunities, 7 more on 36 less. So they have to like that. I still think you're better off not committing a penalty on some of these teams, because, 1 out of 3, you're just, it's Vegas. You got to roll the dice. Don't roll the dice against Vegas. Anyway, so that's your special team situations.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa Welcome Bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so the goaltenders. Who are we going to see in goal? Vegas. How would I keep wanting to say Vancouver? The VGK, Vegas Golden Knights. Aiden Hill, 27, 11, and 5. Gets about 1.5 to 1 of Ilya Samsonov's starts. Samsonov is 16, 9, and 3. Samsonov was in goal for the previous game against Nashville, a win for Nashville, 5-3. Last year, there were 3 different goaltenders in the 3 different games. Thompson was in goal in the first game, which was a win for Vegas. Then Hill was in goal for the second game, which was a win for Nashville. And then Patera was in goal in the third game, which was a win for Nashville. So Hill and Patera in goal for the losses, and Thompson for the win. But Thompson and Patera, I'm not sure if Thompson, not sure where they are now, but Patera might still be with Vegas. I don't know about Thompson. Didn't look it up. Don't know why I'm talking about it, because I didn't research this. I just can't help myself. Take a quick look here just for grins. Goaltending and... Nope, Schmid. Schmid is I knew they had 3 people listed, but Schmid is the other one. So no idea. No idea about Patera and Thompson. Thanks for listening. So let's get back to this year. Vegas is in a back-to-back situation. They are playing Chicago on Friday night and Nashville on Saturday. I wonder, they've got to travel. They do have to travel from Chicago to Nashville. I wonder what the times are. So they're playing in Chicago at 7:30 Friday night, and then it's a 5:30 game in Nashville. So they're kind of getting screwed a little bit. On that transition, kind of, I guess that's Nashville, St. Louis, kind of when Nashville had that situation playing Toronto and St. Louis last weekend. So back to back, Hill was in goal versus Minnesota, the win in Minnesota, then Samsonov before that, and then Hill got the 2 starts before that. They've won all 4 of those games. So I think Hill's going to get another start. I think Hill will be in goal versus Chicago, and that means Samsonov will play versus Nashville. For Nashville, UC Saros, 18, 28, and 6, playing 2-ish for one of Justice Anunen's 8. Justice Anunen's 1. Anunen is 8, 7, and 1. Saros has been in goal for the last 2 games, the loss with St. Louis and the win in Carolina. Anunen did play in the other game, St. Louis. This year, Anunen was in the previous game against Vegas, so he got that win, 5-3 in Nashville. Last year against Vegas, Saros was in goal for the first and third games, so he is 1-1. Lankinen was in goal in the middle game, which was a win. And Anunen was with Colorado last year and did not face Vegas. Saros played against St. Louis and then the previous game in Carolina, so I know that the back-to-back Philadelphia and Columbus, Anunen's going to play one of those games. I think it makes sense that Anunen plays against Vegas. I got a feeling Saros is going to play against Vegas, but I'll go ahead and say Anunen. They surprised me by playing a Noonan right before the last back-to-back. Noonan got to start against Anaheim when I thought Saros would go ahead and get 2 in a row. But I thought maybe they'd be alternating. Maybe they still wanted Saros and go for St. Louis, which means if they might still feel like they need to put Saros in versus Vegas. But Noonan was in goal for the previous win, so I think you could justify a Noonan in goal versus Vegas again. All right, players to watch. Got a lot of people listed. Alex Pietrangelo might be back, probably out. Thomas Hertl, their goal leader. And that was about the only stat I had for him anyway, first in goals. Second in goals was Dorofeyev. Pavel Dorofeyev, easy for me to say. A left wing, number 16. He was second in goals with 30, so kind of right back behind Hertl. Jack Eichel, number 9, center Jack Eichel's first in assists, first in points, second in plus minus at 31, and fourth in time on ice, so he's on the ice the most of any forward. He's also first in shooting. That's Jack Eichel, first with 217. Dorofeyev, maybe if I don't troll the R, Pavel, I got that one. He's tied first in shots with 217 and second in goals with 30. And then have to call out Braden McNabb. He's first on the team with and plus minus with a whopping 36. 17 points. 17 points and a plus minus of 36. Just whopping plus minus there. Like Eichel has a plus minus of 31 with 90 points. But yeah, Braden McNabb, he's on the ice 20 minutes, 8 seconds, so he's not first. Pietrangelo was first, 22-28. He should still be with the Kings. Gosh, I hated seeing him. He got picked up in the expansion draft for Vegas, and they still have him. Good for them. He was the best up-and-coming defenseman. I do not understand why the Kings left him unprotected. I guess just basically begged them to take him, and so they did. There were other people they could have left open besides McNabb, but they took McNabb. He was an up-and-coming, going to be a really good defenseman, and he's been a really good defenseman, as we all knew he would be. And, anyway, hate seeing that. But, number 3, Braden McNabb, just a whopping plus minus of 36, right? So Pietrangelo may or may not be in the game, number 7. His only stat was really time on ice. Mark Stone is second in assists and second in points, which is an interesting call-out because he's second in points with 63, which is 27 points lower than Eichel. Now, he still has 45 assists, which is stellar. First on the team in assists for the Preds is Forsberg at 38. I mean, Vegas is first in assists is 64. First in points for the Preds is 66. Number 9, Philip Forsberg. Hey, number 9. So if number 9 is for either team is on the ice, either Forsberg or Eichel. There you go. So Forsberg first on the Preds with 66 points, 17 points ahead, second in place. So he's got a good gap there too, but he's 24 points behind Vegas. So that should tell you everything you need to know. So I don't know. Definitely number 9, 16. No, excuse me. 9 and 16. You'll probably see Hertl. Oh, Hertl's injured. Hertl's not going to be back. So don't worry about 648. But 9 and 16. We'll just leave it with 9 and 16 players to watch. And then, For Nashville, player got a 9 on his chest. Then he's got his uniform on backwards. But on his back, then he's wearing it correctly, and you should be paying attention. 91 Stamkos, 90 O'Reilly, 59 Yossi, who's out, 9 Phillips Forsberg, divisible by 9, number 81, Jonathan Marchessault, playing his ex-team for the second time. And captain of Vegas, if you didn't remember that, he was captain of Vegas when they won the Stanley Cup, and now he is with the Preds. So divisible by 9, 81. That's the players to watch for the Preds. All right, so where momentum? I've moved this segment around because the players to watch never felt like I was ending the show very well. So I've trying this out, moved momentum to the end. Vegas is solid in the First Pacific. Outside chance at the number 1 in the West. They have won their last 4 going into tonight with Chicago in 6-2-2 in their last 10. They are playing a back-to-back with Chicago. They are 6-4. They've had to play 10 back-to-backs, and not all of them have been on the road. They have 9 at home and 11 road games. One of them was split. Otherwise, they're all at home or all away. So this is another... The last one was home and home. So they've had 4 back-to-backs that were at home. They did have a away back-to-back where they did have to cross a border, Edmonton and then Minnesota. They lost in Edmonton and won in Minnesota. But, yeah, they've had a lot more home games and back-to-back than the Preds. So they played 10 of these. They're 11-9 in these particular games. In the back half, which is where they're playing Nashville, they're 6-4 in the back half of those. And then since that's going to be on the road, the back half on the road, they're 3-3. Hill is 0-1 and Samsonov is 3-2 in those situations. Interesting how that plays out. For Nashville beat Toronto and Carolina. Can't seem to beat St. Louis, so it's unfortunate that they had to meet them twice in the string of playing so well here. Kind of want to give, one of those losses, since it was a back-to-back with Toronto and St. Louis, give them kind of a little bit of a break because, they're playing 2 teams and just maintaining that energy in a back-to-back situation against teams they really need to do that with. It got the better of them, I guess. But anyway, they're not in the back-to-back. They're resting today, hopefully. The Preds are 4-5-1 in their last 10, but they did beat Vegas the other time they met. So that's your momentum. The Vegas Golden Knights are coming here to Nashville on a Saturday night. Saturday at 5:30. 5:30. So 5:30 game. Game should be over around 8. Saturday. So Preds fans can go down to Broadway, enjoy a beverage, listen to a couple of bands after a win. And it won't be too late, right? Because 5:30, get over by 8. So go down, have a beverage or two, get an Uber home, and have a good night. Nice sleep. It's always good to have a good sleep on a win, Anyway, so that's the game Saturday night. Vegas Golden Knights here in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators proclivity.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No